Hi guys, my name is Anniina from Design Factory. That is Tiina. She's figuring out the technicalities, as that is always a problem. But while they are working with the presentation, I would like to start with one thing. The guys who were at the dinner yesterday, they already know how this goes. So at Design Factory, we have this thing that we like to get to know the strangers. Because while you know the strangers, they are not strangers anymore. So let's try it out. Talk to your neighbor. They are not strangers anymore then. Give them a hug, shake their hand, take a few minutes to get to know who you're actually sitting next to, introduce yourself, and just say like, hi, what are you doing? Even if you're daring, give a hug, that's a good example. If you're daring to hug me, I have this hugging point sticker or a pen, so you can get a one. Wait. That's for you. This is part of the culture that we want to kind of spread out, because it's all based on people. Are they getting it working? All right, I can explain what we're going to be talking about while she figures out the presentation. So we're from Aalto University, from this project called Design Factory. Today, we know that this track is about the business and design thinking, like implementing design thinking into business. We are not really from a business point of view. It's an institute, kind of an institute inside a university. And our topic is going to be the global network of these design factories. But I think what kind of the red line or the core of the talk is that we are, like, design thinking is really, really implemented into our everyday life. So we don't have to actually label that we're using design thinking as a tool. It's in the core of our activities. The courses that we held, they are kind of based on that. So we don't have to say that we are doing design thinking because it's in their everyday life. I'm gonna talk without the presentation then. Huh? Oh. Oh. Oh, there we go. All right. So, we're good to go. Do you want to say something of yourself, or did I introduce you well enough? All right.
There are a few more hugging points if someone wants.
All right, so if you're daring enough to give us a hug after the presentation, a couple of more, you guys could get a hugging point. So, as I mentioned about the Design Factory and then the global network is going to be the topic. So, quick introduction, what is actually Design Factory? As I already mentioned, that we are from the Aalto University, but just briefly go through what it is, and then the global network of JJ Engines.
Okay, and to give you a brief overview of our history, it's not the point is that you can't read everything. We have a few publications actually with us if someone is interested to learn more about the project. But everything kind of started in the 80s when there was a professor who started teaching students in product development. And after that, in 97, kind of a big change started when a new professor came into the course and started making it from a very engineering course, a product development course that was mainly meant for mechanical engineers, way more interdisciplinary, bringing designers in. And that's kind of where our story starts. The black, the year numbers with the black background show how the international and the global collaboration started spreading. So in 2001, we already had the first international students in the course. In 2006, the first kind of this PDP course, as we call it, the PDP-inspired course was established in Austria. And as you can see, since 2010, it's been kind of the global collaboration has been just growing, and that's kind of the point of this presentation.
So about our home university, Aalto University. In 2010, 3 already existing universities were combined. So the University of Arts and Design, that's where I'm from originally, and then the Technical University of Helsinki, and then the Economic or Business University of Helsinki. And then these 3 schools were brought together and established as Aalto University. So Aalto University, as it is an interdisciplinary University. And Design Factory is this place where all these people from different disciplines and schools, the teachers, the students, the researchers, come together with industry to do collaboration projects.
And before we go to the global sphere of Design Factory, we wanted to give you a little insight on what Design Factory is. So it's kind of a combination of all of these things that you can see. It's sort of a help. It's people who are helping the students to accomplish their projects, to do prototypes in. If you're familiar with Fab Lab, so Fab Lab type of rapid prototyping labs, what we have inside Design Factory, it's a community of people. That's kind of the core thing. That it's not the walls or the ceiling, but actually the people who are inside. It's a physical space, so learning this more like modern universities, learning in university, and especially when we're talking about experiential learning or practice-based learning, it's not, this sort of a setting is not ideal for it. So what is important is that at Design Factory we've been able to experiment with new kinds of spaces, physical spaces that can support the learning. And as mentioned, learning by doing, learning by prototyping, we encourage the students highly to use prototyping as a way of thinking.
And Design Factory has a lot of other things happening, even though the education is the backbone of our activities. So we have a lot of other people coming into the house, about 10,000 visitors every year. And also we have an impact on big things. So for example, in the impact picture, there is our previous Prime Minister and then the Prime Minister of Great Britain, David Cameron, talking about the future of Europe. So we held this, or we're hosting this summit of European Prime Ministers last year. But one big thing about Design Factories around the world that they are global. Not only are we spread globally, but the students and people inside Design Factories are global. So the students are around the world, the researchers, the professors, they are really, really a global family and a community.
And we do not label our activities strictly under design thinking, but as you can see from these keywords, it's design. It's very much like design thinking is integrated in all the activities what we do. It's interdisciplinary. It's important that people interact, learn to communicate, take the user-centeredness into account, combine theory and practice, and then many other things. Open innovation is one of the kind of key things what all our activities are roundabout on that idea that we share, and by sharing we learn. And this is kind of the change. Being a pioneer in a traditional environment as a university is also has been some sort of an inspiration for other universities around the globe to take this tangible project to their own local universities. But before that, a brief comment. So what I already said about physical spaces, there has been some talks already in this conference about that, but it's highly important if you're talking about design thinking, if you're talking about working in a new way and having these new methods, you can't think that these traditional lecture rooms can really support your new ways of working. So physical space has a huge impact on our behavior and working together.
So now we would like to introduce you to the global network of these design factories around the world. So what it is that makes a network, it is that we share the passion for doing things and doing things differently. So all these places around the world, they are like change agents in their home institutes. Design Factory is not something we sell as a franchise. It's always an initiative that the organization or institute in the local setting, they want to get. So we are not like, you cannot push with a rope. The guys have to be interested in and passionate about the things we do. And then we can share the experience that we have. But it's about being a change agent in the local institute, wherever we are around the world.
And as we're talking about global collaboration, of course, we have to have a world map. So this is an overview where all our design factories are nowadays around the globe. And we'll kind of introduce each of them more briefly now. So where it all started is in Finland, in Aalto University, as mentioned, in Aalto Design Factory. If anyone ever comes to Finland, please do come and visit us. Among others, we organize this sort of a community breakfast. It's again a space where we have like a kitchen in a university facility is probably something untraditional, but the fact that we have a kitchen enables us to create these community events and bring people together, not only students, but the researchers or the teachers who are around Design Factory, in and around Design Factory.
So the first international design factory was established in China, in Shanghai, in Tongji University, 2010. And then you can see the kitchen looks really similar than the one at Design Factory. So there are similarities to one design factory to another. I've heard students who have been doing like study tours or visited other design factories that they say it's like home away from home. Whenever you walk to a design factory, you see the similarities that makes you feel at home.
Well, after that, we kind of went down under, and in 2011 the Swinburne Design Factory was established. And this was kind of many times we get the question like how does it actually start? And for example, in this case, the dean of the design school happened to visit Design Factory in Finland and just got inspired, decided that we need this. And he had his own, like Anniina mentioned, you can't push with a rope. He had his own reasons why he had a feeling that he needs something like this in his local environment, just like the Shopa people, the guys are doing here in Poland.
And the third one was in Chile, South America, so Duke University in Santiago. Again, a lot of similarities, but in local setting, the things are a bit different, the emphasis are a bit different, but you can see the whiteboards, you can see the post-its.
The first non-university collaboration we were happy to launch last December with CERN in Switzerland, the research center with the huge Atlas particle, how is it?
I think Large Hadron Collider, so
Yeah.
the huge particle collider thingy. I
Not
was
the
there.
physician, but okay.
But the cool thing is that as CERN is not a university, they are not doing education, they are a research institute. So they are not doing things in a similar way, but they're doing things in a similar way. So the idea at Idea Square is exactly the same, bringing researchers, bringing in students, doing collaboration projects on the matters related to CERN and the technology developed over there.
And maybe just to go briefly, the last ones, then in this year, April, we launched a new design factory in Yonsei University in Korea, where they are now setting up, trying to find out what is the curriculum, what is what we do, what should the students learn, what is kind of the thing we want to educate. Another was actually just a month ago launched in Portugal, a Porto Design Factory, where they have very interesting projects combining engineers and musicians, for example, together to build new instruments. And they wanted to create this platform like Design Factory to be able to increase these kind of projects and support the students even better.
But things are not stopping here. There are more and more design factories popping up around the world. So the next upcoming ones are going to be in Latvia, in Riga, in region, design factory in Netherlands. And then in USA, the Philadelphia University Nexus Design Factory. So these are all launching during this year, by the end of 2015, I think.
And then we still wanted to add our collaborating partner in New York, Pace University, who've been kind of involved. But again, it's not being a kind of a member of Design Factory Network. It's not about the official status. Okay, we do have some sort of contracts, and when you're part of the network, there are some bureaucracy involved, let's say. But also I would say that the Shopa is a part of our network. So they visited Finland, we visited you guys, and then it's about mutual sharing as with PACE, for example.
So what it is actually that the network is about. So I think the essence of this network is that we're sharing our expertise, we're sharing our experiences, and it's the sharing of ways of working. So in this picture you can see the breakfast at our design factory, and you can see these communal dinners and meals around the world, in China, in Australia, in Riga. So these soft skills and non kind of like what we do in prototyping, these other methods are also spreading when we are taking design factories global.
And one of the core things, what is combining all the design factories around the globe, are students, and the kind of value and mission that students come first. And this is something very important and integrated in the work. So when you start thinking that, are we doing the things which support the students and help them to learn better, you probably can find some things that you should change or develop in your own organization. And then to kind of more explicitly explain what the network it's not an official organization, it's not an official entity. It is actually a network of people who are pioneers, change agents in their local institutions, and just by the projects what we do together, that defines kind of the sharing. So you could think that it's very vague in a way, so we don't have any papers, any contracts that define that we are in the network, but it's more about this wanting and sharing the same need to change something in the university education. So as it says here in the slide, shared ways of working and the supporting culture enable the collaboration in the network. And now we have a few examples for you guys. For example, an academic research conference was held last summer in Finland, in Aalto University, North Design Conference. And our colleagues in Swinburne University in Australia really got enthusiastic that, okay, it's a really interesting conference, you know, it has roots in mechanical engineering, but it nowadays brings together people who are researching design thinking or pedagogical development, and they wanted to organize a satellite event in Australia. And because we have this platform, this Design Factory platform in both of those institutions, it was really easy to set up. The people kind of, even though some of the organizers didn't know each other personally, but they knew that there is this home, there is this similar place, and we do share the same kind of ways of working, and it was so easy to set up the satellite event and collaboration with Down Under.
Another way of doing collaboration is the education and teaching. This is a picture from CERN. This is, I think, the CEMS detector. And this is from a course called CBI, Challenge-Based Innovation. And what Design Factory does is it eases this kind of collaborative teaching. So I actually took part of this course last year, and there was guys from Swinburne as well. So what this network does is it makes easier to build these kind of collaborative courses and simplifies that kind of movability of students and staff, teachers from one country to another, from one institute to another. But as we are here in this track talking about the business, so this global network actually makes business transfer as well easier. So last night we were talking about in the keynote talk about our industry collaboration, what we do at Design Factory. So this network actually makes it easier for businesses to also kind of reach new markets and reach new areas around the world. So you might recognize the Angry Birds. They are from a company called Rovio in Finland, a gaming company. So Rovio has a collaboration with the Shanghai Design Factory in China. They are participating in their courses over there, and they're having other collaboration as well with the Design Factory over there. So what this network does, it makes the threshold for businesses to enter new markets, new countries, much more easier. So as it says in the slides, that kind of shared ways of working lowers the barrier to collaboration across national borders. And this is a big impact to these companies who are looking for new markets.
You can only imagine that Finland, with 5 million people, for a gaming company such as Rovio, not the most interesting market, you know, like it's important that they do have the Finnish identity and so on, but to have this sort of a platform where they can enter the Asian market, a huge market such as China, especially in mobile gaming, it's a great opportunity. Also, I heard that now Rovio is discussing very intensively the new collaboration with the Design Factory in Korea. And to summarize a bit the kind of value of industry collaboration, last night we sent a message to we use Slack for not a marketing pitch for Slack, but still we use it as a communication tool around the globe for the network. And we just posted a question that, hey guys, like, would you share, like, what is the value of the industry collaboration in Design Factory in your opinion? And with this kind of crowdsourcing, we were able to get these comments from the USA, from Spain, and from Netherlands, that kind of the value of having this sort of a platform, as Olga said, that removing unnecessary barriers or noise between the students and teachers and the company representatives. So having a platform which is like fairly informal, and you can cut the talk, the kind of formality, and go straight to the topic that is needed. As Carlos said from Spain, like having real problems, having real challenges, and real projects and solutions, like that's how the students get really engaged. And not only for this talk, but you can imagine having this huge network of people around the globe. It's a huge opportunity for people in the Design Factory network to ask any questions. If someone is planning to change their teaching, they could just ask colleagues from, I don't know, from Australia, has anyone tried out this method, or would you have any comments, like I want to organize a different kind of workshop, what should we do? It's a kind of our own, I don't know, our own Wikipedia or Google or something like that.
So what actually happens during the year, we have this couple kind of family meetings around the year. So the first one is the International Design Factory Week. I think this year, last fall, it was held for the third time in Australia. So what it is bringing all these people from the different institutes together, have workshops, talk about their organization, their strategy, their educational development, how to engage industry. So it's this really, really nice event where the people around the world can share their experiences and problems and get new information and get inspired by the others.
Remote communication is one thing, and of course it's really handy that we have all these technological devices nowadays, but nothing is so important than being face-to-face and you know, being present in the same area. And actually in these International Design Factory Weeks, you could say that we share a lot about the methods when it comes to design thinking and working with the students in a different way. And another example is Design Factory Bootcamp. Along the years, the design factories, especially in China and Swinburne in Australia, as they were the first ones in our global network, were established so that a person from Finland, from one of our staff members, went there as kind of an expatriate or you know, expert to introduce and then show example. What is it that the design factory spirit is? What is it that we do? But of course, as you can imagine, this takes a lot of resources. It's a huge effort. It takes 1 year, 2 years, how long it's needed to do something like this. So nowadays, as the network is growing and there is more and more interest towards joining and sharing this same ideology, we organize a Design Factory Bootcamp every year. It was just last week, actually.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, right. The time goes fast. In the bootcamp, we invite anyone who is interested in the concept to learn about our pedagogical methods, about the industry collaboration, how could you set it up, to talk with the professionals who've done it and learn from their experience. And I gotta say that it was really interesting to see how we had this year 5 institutes representing some people from the Netherlands and from Portugal, and new interested institutes from Belgium, from Ghent University.
And Valencia in Spain.
Yeah. So this is if anyone of you is interested, you can come and talk to us and then take one of our publications after this talk and you know, get to know more about the next year's bootcamp. I hope that we see the Shopa people there next year. Yeah.
That was it. Thank you guys for listening. Check out all the Design Factory website, Design Factory Global Network website. We, as promised, we have a few more of these hugging points, so come give us a hug. And then we had the Global Design Factory publication and Design Factory publication for the few first eager ones, so you can read more about us. And just come talk to us and we can spread the virus with you guys. Thank you.